going on, y'all? Welcome in. Unnecessary Roughness presented by our friends at Twisted Tea. We got a motley crew today. Casey and Brandon are out there in San Francisco for the Super Bowl, the big game. So today, I'll be running point. We got T-Bob Baber. We got our guy Liam Blutman. We got Big Ev up in here. And we got national champion Michael Katic on the couch today. Boys, what's going on? How's everybody feeling today?
Good.
Feel ready to roll?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Okay, we got a lot to get to today, so we'll kind of wrap up the season with Mikey. We'll get into some schedule stuff for next year. It looks like an even later national championship next year. Gus Malzahn retires. We got some Portal Combat updates, and the Big Ten schedule has been released, and there's some highlights that we should get to there as we already prepare to navigate this long dark of the offseason by fantasizing about the games that will be. But first, Super Bowl 60 deserves a sportsbook built for the moment, and that's DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 60, because it puts you right in the center of the biggest games of the years. And check it out, guys, we know this. Anything can happen during the Super Bowl. DraftKings, they know this. They have your back with early exit. If your player goes down in the first half, you still get paid in cash when your bet settles. No bonus bets, no waiting. While other sportsbooks don't offer injury protection, DraftKings covers the entire first half, even the second quarter. And early exit works on live bets as well. Shout out Live Bet Labs. Pre-game or in-game, DraftKings has you covered. New to DraftKings, new customers bet just $5. Get $300 in bonus bets. $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code RUFF. That's code RUFF to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Big Ev, how are we handling the offseason thus far? How have you been filling your time? Are you okay? What's been going on?
Yeah, this is start getting into college basketball a little bit. Got to find something to gamble on. But it's all right. Congrats, Indiana. They deserved it. It definitely is another, as I've had some time to reflect on the year, I do sit here feeling with just kind of this, like, I don't want to say bitter, but just kind of like, even depressed might be strong, but just like kind of sad in the feeling that it's another team that I feel that Ryan Day like had the potential to win it all and just didn't get it done. And I think that's the sad part. And I truly don't mean that it's knocked Indiana. They clearly deserved it. They beat us. They were better. But it's one of those where I feel like the rosters constructed had what it took to get it done and did not get it done. And I feel like there's been a couple of these in the Ryan Day tenure, even though I don't still think he's a great coach, but it just is like it's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
I think that's fair. And Mikey, some of the reason why they didn't get it done, main reason why, you're Indiana Hoosiers, bet. So as Ev enters this season a bit on the sadder side, I mean, here you are, babe. You've arrived. Mission complete somehow.
Yeah, and I was talking to some of my boys yesterday about how we're more shocked and more surprised about the Big Ten championship outcome. Like, we thought that was like the national championship for us. Because after that, I knew that we could win it all after beating Ohio State. So I feel like that was like more so the national championship in like our eyes. But no, I mean, obviously it's an amazing season. Incredible.
Wait, so in classic Dave Portnoy fashion, y'all did this. Y'all won the championship for Ohio State. You wanted to make them feel better about losing to Indiana. So
that's not what I'm saying at all.
Ev, do you feel better? You helped put Mikey over. You put the Hoosiers over. Congratulations.
That is not what I'm saying.
You played a key role in this natty run.
Fuck you, T-Bob.
Now, listen, I will say this. I mean, those saying, the Big Ten's not deep, this and that, some of the SEC propaganda eaters.
Yeah.
I mean, it's now three natties in a row for the Big Ten, 3 different schools.
Yeah.
The SEC was just battered all bowl season by Big Ten teams, just demolished, embarrassed. And I think now there's anyone who's really been watching, paying attention, you understand that it's the Big Ten's throne.
100%.
And that's indisputable right now.
Mm-hmm. Liam, do you agree?
Yeah, and I thank you, Mike Katic, for winning this for the Big Ten and paving a path for the next JMU Big Ten school to get it done. The off season, like you said, T-Bob, Big Ev, it's grueling, a bit depressing at times. There's other things to get you over. There's speeches to get you over. Maybe the head coach of a program guaranteeing a Big Ten championship is coming to that program soon.
Might I add, while they were playing Indiana.
And definitely, so you are referencing
what am I
something.
missing
was
here?
just generally saying
No. The Bob Chesney halftime of the
Bob
UCLA
Chesney took a page
Indiana
out of the
basketball
Signetti
game.
playbook.
So he tried to do the full Signetti.
Not
Guaranteed.
the full Signetti, because he was
He didn't
said
say-
we're
he
going
didn't
to
say
be.
fuck,
Yeah, he
you know,
didn't do
fuck
it.
them.
He guaranteed a Big Ten championship is
Wait,
coming.
hold
Next
on.
year.
Time out.
Well, maybe not next year. He just said it's coming.
That's what it sounded like.
So, but that's actually crazier than the full Signetti.
Yeah.
Because all Signetti said was Purdue sucks, but guess what? So did Michigan and Ohio State suck too. So he was just kind of taking a shot. We already got Chesney out here doing Big Ten championship guarantees.
and he played
later?
under. He played under, or he coached under Sig too.
Oh,
I
man.
believe, right?
No,
he
he came from Holy Cross.
Oh,
But yeah, he guaranteed the Big Ten championship, and like Mikey said, there was Indiana conglomerate in the arena at Pauley that booed.
yeah.
He got booed on his own home court. That was tough. But they're in here making changes, and I'm so happy to be sitting at the big boys table. I know we're not at the House of Prime Rib, but one day we'll be there soon, and we're gonna win the Big Ten championship. I'll be there with you guys.
Yeah,
But I
that's
get
right.
it. Like coaches need to do that. Like he saw Sig coming to Indiana and saying that. It ruffled some feathers, but that's what we needed. We needed a kick in the ass, and UCLA needs the same thing. So I mean, I don't blame Chesney at all for saying that. That UCLA needs a kick in the ass. They need to change some shit, and that's what Sig came in and did. And he didn't guarantee a Big Ten championship, but he did ruffle some feathers, and that's what we needed. And I think UCLA is in the same boat.
One thing I'm going to be fascinated to see is going to be Indiana. And you could say this with the benefit of hindsight, but I'm actually on record saying this kind of during the very beginning of the Sig era, is that Indiana had sleeping giant potential in that, massive alumni base, a lot of money up for grabs, but mainly a sports rabid fan base. That's the big question to me, Liam, with UCLA.
Oh, we got money, boy.
I know you got
but you don't
money.
have
Everybody
buy-in. You don't have
got
a fan
money.
base that
But I'm
yearns.
saying, do you have a fan base that all they give a
Yes.
fuck about is sports? Because Los
Yes.
Angeles gets the reputation of that not being the case.
I could say Bob Chesney walked in UCLA after 15, 20 minutes being there, was like, okay, I see why the fans have been checked out.
Yeah, I know you said that.
The last two establishments were utter disasters in every sense of the word. It's a complete makeover of what UCLA football has been in the last decade. It's the fans will be out there and people forget when Jim Mora had UCLA humming. We were like preseason top 10 for a little bit. Put some of the nastiest linebackers into the league. You look at Anthony Barr, Eric Kendricks,
They were beasts.
long great careers. Rose Bowl was popping. Every single Saturday, Rose Bowl was popping, and we'll get that back there soon. That's a Liam Blutman guarantee.
There you go. Sounds like the Chesney era off to a rousing start. All right, let's dive into some of these Big Ten games that are here. But first, the Game Time app gives the advantage back to fans. It's the hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences just a few taps. It's incredibly easy to use. The Game Time guarantee means you'll get 100% authentic tickets on time and at the best price. Plus, fees are always included, so what you see is what you pay. That's big. And now, with the big game coming up, there's no better way to buy tickets than through the Game Time app. You can save even more when you choose a section and then you let Game Time choose the seats. So, take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code RUFF for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code RUFF, ROUGH, for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. They are the absolute best. All right, Ev, boys, let's go through some of these Big Ten games, Big Ten schedule release. And, how about this? Right there, smack dab in the middle of the year, October 17th, Ohio State at Indiana. On the same day where we'll get Penn State at Michigan and Nebraska at Oregon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, big time day in the Big Ten there,
Great
October
day.
17th. But Ev, how are we feeling about traveling to Bloomington?
It's gonna be a great game. We got a tough schedule. I don't know if you've seen the rest of our schedule, T-Bob. We have Texas week, I believe, 2. Got at Indiana. Obviously, Michigan always. We got Oregon this year. We got USC this year.
Yeah.
Tough schedule.
And you're on the road at USC. You're on the road at Iowa.
Iowa too,
on the road at Indiana. Yeah, y'all are okay. We're going to see.
Tough schedule. And Texas out of conference. Tough schedule. Very tough schedule.
Yeah.
We got like a get in the playoff schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's gonna be that's gonna be a tough schedule to try to run the table. Tough schedule.
I'll put this to the room. So we're done. Indiana is now done with winning over the hearts and the minds of the neutral fan, right?
Mm.
They're the bad guys now.
Yeah.
Maybe not the bad guys, but you're no longer cute, Mikey.
No, for sure. And I hate that.
How's that feel?
It's nice. It was nice being like an underdog every week, proving people wrong, and now we won a national championship. So big target on our backs now. Like everyone's going to try to come after Sig. Everyone's going to try to come after the boys. But I think we've done a good job in the portal so far, getting the pieces that we need. A good quarterback, and we're returning four out of the 5 starting O linemen. So that's big. We got one in the portal. Bob Bostad's always crafting. But yeah, no, I'm feeling good. Wide receiving core is looking fantastic. But yeah, so we'll see.
Liam, what?
I gotta be honest. I didn't even think of the Hoover. That's
I didn't
so
either.
good.
That's crazy.
Oh my God!
How did we not? How did we not? How did
you
none of
saying
us?
With that, I can't stop thinking about
I've done this around the office.
No, you've never done it around
Oh yes,
me.
me and Doug have.
Not around me.
I've done this for 2 months.
Wow, Hoover. I love that.
That's so good.
I didn't even know. I didn't even.
We gotta sell the shirts.
Yeah, I didn't even. Wow, it's incredible.
Liam, is there a Big Ten team besides UCLA that you're buying stock in? I mean, if you look at some of the games that are highlighted, I'm seeing Minnesota getting some run in a couple of these games. No. What's Washington going to be like with Jed Fish come? Not with Jed Fish, but after all the drama of Damon Williams leaving, staying. Is there anybody kind of under? Because we know about the big dogs. Is there anybody you're buying stock in? Are you back in on Penn State now?
Oh, I was never in on Penn State. So can I be in on Penn State? Who's to say? I don't know. Because if I'm in on Penn State, I'm loving Iowa State pretty much to win the Big Ten.
Yeah.
I don't really know if I want to do that quite yet. I'm dead honest. I'm an honest guy, T-Bob. The Blut model is asleep and hibernating right now. It doesn't have too much. The Blut model doesn't know where anyone plays anymore. Mike Katic, do you know where anyone plays anymore? No, they all transferred.
Yeah.
99% of the I'm more so just making a joke. I don't know. I'm biasly thinking UCLA could win 8 games minimum, so that's making a bit of noise in the Big Ten. Dude,
minimum. This
like
man said the 8
I
mini.
like, yeah, I like
in
our
an
schedule.
uber competitive Big Ten.
I
that
like
is
our
only getting
schedule,
more
man. Sleeper team, I really don't know, dude. I don't know.
No, that's okay. Yeah, it's very early on here.
Don't know who I think Wisconsin.
I just don't trust Fickle still.
Yeah.
I like Colton Joseph a lot.
I like Colton Joseph.
Make them a lot more dynamic than they've been, but
I like Joseph and I like Nate Palmer that they bring in too. And then they brought in that kid, the D3 transfer. I'm blanking on his name. I think his first name is Liam though. That's like a uber world-class track and field athlete that they got playing edge rusher.
T-Bob, let me ask, when you say surprising, like what is that like?
I don't know. I mean, well, not the Indiana level of surprise.
No, of course, but like, are you saying like 8-9 wins?
Let's say when I look at the Big Ten, and Liam Danitz, I think is who you're talking about there, Liam. I think 15 sacks in 2025, 6'5", 230.
He's sick. That I'm mad about that one.
No, I think this. I think right now we look at the Big Ten, and Ev, would you say there's a big 3 or a big 4? I mean, definitely Ohio State, Michigan, Indiana. Or no, sorry. Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana. And then, So is it like, does Michigan still get in that crew? Does Penn State still get in that crew?
I think they have to earn their way back in.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so we have.
I think they both played. They both have played themselves out of it. I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Penn State. We just have to see. I mean, I guess they both are new coaches. So I mean, but yeah, them, and then obviously like USC's been kind of right there, and Illinois has been solid, but still clearly on the outside.
So if we have that,
Iowa
like,
kind of same thing, even a little closer probably than Illinois.
yeah, Iowa very close this last season, kind of shockingly close just when you look back. But so you have your tier 1 big 3, and then you have the tier 2 teams, kind of all the ones you just mentioned. I guess I'm wondering, is there going to be a Big Ten team that kind of joins that tier 2? And is that going to be Wisconsin, Minnesota, something like that? It's still early on.
Yeah.
It's still early on. We'll see. But my God, that October 17th weekend looks like the premier Big Ten weekend.
It's gonna be awesome.
Office will be buzzing.
I almost hesitate to bring it up again because I think it's kind of a dead horse topic in some ways. But I think I have a couple numbers that will blow your mind. How did y'all feel about how late this year's national championship was?
Oh, terrible.
Not the best, right?
What was it last year?
Yeah, not the best. Well, what was the date this year?
The same day. I think last year was the 20th, 19th, or 20th.
And what was this year, the 19th? Well,
Those are the same day.
It's usually what with the usual playoff. It's what the 11th usually, like the 9th. Like
I don't
that?
know exactly how calendars work. I just know the games are getting later every single year.
Fair, yeah.
And it looks like that's not changing. Next year's national championship is not till January 25th.
That's great.
January 25th.
Yeah.
And again, the only reason I really bring this story up is for this. If you were to do Indiana's path next season, you win your conference, you get the bye, and let's say you go on to win the Natty, you will play 3 games in 51 days. The final 2 games will be spread out over 23 days. 3 games in 51 days, guys? What is that, a game a month? A game and a half a month? That's what the fuck are we doing?
Is that so? Are they doing the Super Bowl thing where they play the semis and then 2 weeks?
Well, I mean, I guess in this scenario, you would play your how many games Indiana had to win?
It's 16 total.
16 total.
I'm trying to think. So I was just trying to figure out if they were including the conference championship.
13
in this.
with the conference championship.
So yeah, so let's say you win your conference championship, then you have the bye, so you have what a few weeks off until New Year's, right?
Yeah, December. We played on December 6th. We didn't play again till the 1st.
Then you're probably going to have like a 10, 12-day gap because New Year's could fall anywhere, and then you're going to be back on the weekend. Then you would have an extended break because it's a national championship, and they spread that out all the way to a Monday. 3 games in 51 days.
That's brutal.
They need to do a few things. They need to move, with them adding all these games out of the playoff, they need to make week 0 week 1. And if they want to do a week 0, then that just needs to get bumped up a week.
I like that.
All respect to the troops, I think that game can't have its own week anymore with this calendar.
I agree.
Obviously, play the game, but I think it can't be a standalone anymore. It can be a standalone time slot, but I think it can't be a standalone day. It's just wasting a week that's pushing this thing back so far. And then we don't need this like 3-week gap between conference title game and first playoff. Like the first playoff game should be like a week and a half.
December
like
12th. They should be December 12th.
Yeah.
Like immediately after the conference championships.
And I understand that'll be tough because people will say, oh, like to the loser, they have no break. But I mean, I don't know. We got to play these games. We're having these huge breaks. It actually is taking away from the pop of the sport. Like you felt a little bit. There was and I genuinely think Oregon, Indiana being such a blowout played like a small factor into it that it was such a blowout so fast. It felt like that game didn't even happen.
Yeah.
Like we needed to like enjoy on the edge of our seats a football game because it was such a blowout. And then we had 10 days in between. And then it kind of was like, and the national championship game obviously was an incredible game. And I'm sure a ton of people still watched it. But it just feels like it loses that, like it loses a little bit of the juice. Like by the time the game gets there, you're almost like, oh, like, all right, now it's happening. Well, yeah. And hardcore fans like us, like we're going to be jazzed up for it no matter what. But I think you want to get all the fans in you possibly can. You just got to shorten it up. It's just more digestible that way.
It's the thing Brandon was saying where there were 10 NFL games played in between the semis of the college football playoff and the national championship. So, yeah, you're losing the pop and the luster of the national championship because we're prioritizing the National Football League and what's going on there. But when we're prioritizing that, that's where all our brain power is going towards. Like we're literally not putting anything into thought of college football because we're waiting so long and it's not there for us. That's a problem, T-Bobs.
Well, if you do this is maybe a bit of a egocentric take in that it's very tied to our own experience. But like, let's say you do but it is representative of the larger conversation. Where it's like, let's say you do a Monday sports talk show. You're breaking down the NFL playoffs that just happened.
Yeah.
You're not previewing the Monday night national championship. And so on the day of your final game, you're losing all of that advertising. And that's what this is. Like when we talk, why do you think schools like Indiana see all this massive out-of-state tuition spikes and why Alabama got so rich in their saving air and why Tuscaloosa looks like a different city is because it's advertising. Mm-hmm. Think about how much money you pay for a commercial in one of these games and then think about when you play in the game and you're just being talked about constantly. So it's crazy to give that real estate up. And what's even wilder is the viewership number was still great. I was shocked to read this. The national championship this year was the most viewed non-NFL sporting event since the 2016 Cubs Game 7 World Series that needed, one of the most famous franchise Chicago Cubs with 100 years of pain and everything else. Like it needed the ultimate storyline for that to be the last thing to beat this year's Natty. So even with all that negative scheduling, you're still putting up a big number, but it could be better. It could be bigger and it could be more enjoyable.
A couple things.
And the fix is easy.
Yeah, a couple things. One, I think going off the most viewed thing, I think it's because it's like a fresh two teams. Like in Indiana had this story.
Definitely. They
had the Heisman. They had all this like built up to the national championship. You had Miami, who's a 10 seed, coming in, beating Ohio State, beating who else they beat? Ole Miss. And then like coming into the national championship, there was all this built up, tension and ready to go. I think that's why it was such highly viewed. And then back to Ev's point about like the pop of college football and losing that. Like my thing is like you have this feeling of bowl season, like from the end of the championship weekend to the national championship. You have this window of bowl season where it gives you like the bowl feel. Like every day there's a bowl on, like the New Year's Six bowls, like, and then you don't play the national championship until the 20th or like the 25th. There's that like gap there where you're not in a bowl season, but you're in playoff season. But like I want it to all feel like the same. Does that make any sense?
I can't fathom what it's like to be a player.
It must suck. Like the boys were so. I mean, these guys were 2 weeks into school. In the next year, like Indiana school started, I think on the 11th or something.
It doesn't make any sense.
So then these guys are already taking classes for the next year while still being on last year's season. Like it's just like
and it's a credit. It's a credit to Sig and the boys and Miami because everybody looked locked in. But to maintain that level of focus for these long extended breaks, that's almost like mental torture.
Yeah.
Like there's one thing about that week to week rhythm that is so nice because it doesn't allow you to kind of get restless. Like so everything has to move so fast.
Exactly.
Whereas now you're just stuck in some almost like purgatory.
Yeah.
Waiting for the next the next time that you're going to throw your entire life on the line. Because that's what every one of these big games feels like. It's everything that you've worked for your whole life on the line in that 60 minutes, that 3.5 hours.
Yeah. And granted, SIG's practices are short and they're not as, bad on the body as like I was listening to like Miami, like their practices are very intense and Cristobal gets those boys. Like I couldn't imagine that many practices. Then again, Miami didn't have like the long bye, but I mean those practices. You start to get into a dark place.
Yes,
you start entering a dark realm of oh my God, why am I waking up today? Like wow, I gotta go put on full pads and run inside run pods, do one-on-ones, do team run, do team pass. Like this is a dark time.
Shit, they might still be conditioning. At the end, you don't know, dude. He might have running perfect sprints out there.
I mean, even on the other end, think of it from a coach's perspective. Think about if I don't know, Kirby Smart and Georgia had this long a break ahead of their national championship run next season. That's a lot of car keys Kirby's going to need to take away.
Yeah, it's a lot of downtime.
That's a lot of stressing out on something else. Tough.
You know what else it is? It's a lot of eating. And, I mean, if you're like me, now I'm from Louisiana. That's where I was going with that earlier. And I'm not. Love Tony Satch's. I know you're not. I'm sure Pittsburgh food is delicious. But you sent me a couple plates of some food that I know tasted good, but it looked like it could use a little kick.
When I was at home?
Yeah, a little. It was a lot of beige, a lot of brown colors.
Fair.
But again, I know it tastes good. Don't get me wrong. But everything tastes a little better with some Tony Satcheries. I put Tony's on everything, and now Tony's has the new Cajun kick. It's a little less salt, a little more garlic. It's got that clean kick of heat. And again, guys, Tony's Cajun kick can go on anything. And this is not a rub. This is a seasoning. So this is after the fact, right? Try it on your pizza, try it on your sandwiches, try it on your salads, try it on your eggs. If you want to spice anything up, Tony's Kick is what you want. You get that clean hit of hit. It's a new blend based in the Tony's tradition. Anywhere you would use salt and pepper, throw in Tony's Cajun Kick. Okay? You can find it at your local HEB, Rouse's, Associated Grocers, Associated Wholesale Grocers, and Amazon. So, again, right now, Cajun Kick is currently only available in select stores in Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi. But if you're listening to this from anywhere, you go to Amazon, you get all new Tony's Cajun Kick. Turn up the heat, turn up the flavor. Cajun Kick brings bold, spicy, zesty garlic and just the right burn to wake up anything on your plate. Shop now at CajunKick.com/barstool. I put on a turkey sandwich the other day. Absolutely delicious. All right, guys, it's time to say happy trails to a legend of the game. Gus Malzahn retiring after 35 years of coaching football. That's right. Now, Liam, I know you Mikey, what's your knowledge of Gus Malzahn?
Not much.
You would have been. I was about to say you'd have been a young man in kind of, I feel like, the Malzahn prime.
Yeah.
Do you have any memories of him?
I know Auburn.
Yeah.
I know UCF. I know. Was he at Missouri?
Do you have any memories of that Cam Newton Auburn national championship team? He was the OC on that team.
Okay. Yeah.
And then later, after Chizik gets fired, he gets to be the head coach, and he goes back to a national championship against Florida State, which is crazy to think about. That here Gus was with Nick Marshall, a cornerback, as his quarterback, won the SEC, went to the Natty, and was 13 seconds away from winning it, if not for Jameis and Kelvin Benjamin getting it done.
I mean, arguably the greatest Natty of all time.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome, dude. Just a hell of a game.
That Florida State team had not been tested once all year.
Yep.
All year. Every game they won easily. And that game, they backs against the wall a few times. They had the Kermit Whitfield, the kick return in the second half for a touchdown. You have the Trey Mason hitting the Heisman pose. And then the insane drive, the final touchdown to Benjamin. I mean, Florida State was down big at half, if I remember correctly, or at least decent margin. Incredible game. But that was the miracle run. I mean, that was the Auburn Malzahn, like insane, the kick six and the Georgia play, the bad pass in his arms for the touchdown. Like, that's one of the more, to me, like, legendary just years of college football. Period.
Yeah, what do they call that? The something at Jordan-Hare against Georgia? I scare. I can't remember. But
the scare at Jordan-Hare.
I mean, that would have been, though, Liam. That maybe would have been one of the more, if not the most unlikely national champion that we've ever seen in our lifetime. I mean, I guess until Indiana, but Indiana was dominant on the field. Auburn, but they were dominant on the field the whole time. Auburn, like to Ev's point, wasn't dominant that year, but Malzahn just had some sort of magic to that.
Yeah, the
Auburn
horseshoe
team.
up there.
Yeah, shoved up his ass.
I respect I respect the career that he built, and I respect 60's not exactly the oldest in the sporting coaching world. Like, he still probably had some years left to give, but I respect them kind of acknowledging maybe the game's passing me up a bit and get up on out there. I respect it.
Does this mean anything for Florida State? Of course, he was the OC at Florida State this last year.
I just think they were going to be kind of mid regardless. I don't know. I just don't really understand what they're doing. I don't think Norvell's the guy.
I maybe Norvell was the guy, but I've said this since it happened. Florida State getting held out of that playoff and Travis breaking his ankle, how all that went down. That is a grievous wound that you just can't recover from. That's the type of wound that goes gangrenous, that like becomes infected, and there's no antibiotics in the world that can stop it from eventually killing you. And I kind of saw it firsthand. Like, Les Miles' time at LSU got ruined by getting his ass kicked in that national championship. Everybody transferred out. LSU stayed relevant kind of a couple more years, but it was all downhill from there. And at least that happened on the field. Like, Florida State basically, they got wounded in a boardroom. They were just told, sorry about it. Everything you did, you won your conference undefeated. We don't care. You don't get to play for a championship. And you saw what happened.
I think everything you said is true, but I also, and I've said this before, I do truly believe that he caught lightning in a bottle one season with some phenomenal talent that he had. And you see that every Sunday you watch. I mean, the Rams' elite defensive line was his defensive line in Florida State.
Yeah.
And they had great players all in place, even Keon Coleman, who hasn't worked out in the league, but he's still the talent's there, all these high draft picks. I really feel like that year he just caught insane lightning in a bottle, had a super talented roster he brought in, and they just haven't really been good outside of that. Like every other year he's been there, they've been pretty mediocre, besides that one year they were incredible. And it's a shame it turned out that way, but I think it is partly what you're saying, and then also partly like he just hasn't had it outside of that year.
Yeah, that's fair.
He got pretty lucky that year with the talent he brought in, and credit to him for that season, but
God, brutal.
I don't think he's a guy. Like I think he should have been fired this year. I think he's going to get fired after next year at some point next season. It's funny, like Brandon always makes the statement how like he had made the statement before this season, how Venables wasn't good enough to be Oklahoma's head coach.
Yeah.
That's how I feel with Mike Norvell in Florida State. He is not good enough to be the head coach of the Florida State Seminoles. They're too good for Mike Norvell.
Well, and one kind of interesting thing is about Florida State, as we talk this out loud, is like they were traditionally god-awful, but then Bobby Bowden made them this perennial contender out of nowhere. And then Jimbo looked like he had them. Like, Florida State's got something to prove on this next coaching hire, because right now they've almost got a lot more bad tape out there than good in their school history, and so they got something to prove. Gus Malzahn's got nothing left to prove. He's retired. My favorite Gus Malzahn memory will be him going out dancing in the locker room right before he gets fired to the tune of getting paid $21 million. May we all get fired while we're at our happiness. Like he went out a winner dancing with the boys, and then they paid him $21 million not to work.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
I mean, that's the dream, dude.
That's so sick.
Gus Malzahn had the dream. That if you had that much money, you probably wouldn't need this. But if you're like most of us, and with inflation and everything, you probably feel like you need some help getting your finances under control. Well, Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money tracks subscriptions and has the ability to cancel within the app within a few taps. It saves you time, it avoids charges. The app consolidates checking, savings, loans, and investments into a single dashboard to give users a clear view of their financial picture. You can set budgets and goals, get personalized insights, regular reports, receive real-time alerts for large transaction, upcoming bills, refunds, and low balances. I've actually been using this, and it's been awesome. I even put in, like, you can set it up to where you save, I want to save X amount, and it takes it out of your account in like small amounts automatically so you don't even notice. Like a little sandwich taken out here or there, grows over time. I canceled hundreds of dollars of subscriptions. It's really helping me and my family get our money under control when we need it. So if you want to reach your financial goals faster, join rocketmoney.com/rough. rocketmoney.com/rough. rocketmoney.com/rough.
Rough.
Speaking of money, transfer portal, Liam. Portal combat. It's been going on. Winners and losers. Liam, who's your biggest winner thus far in the transfer portal? Or biggest loser? You could start wherever.
I mean, LSU and Miami have done otherworldly things in the portal. I think those two are winners. I genuinely believe Indiana is a big winner with Hoover and Marsh coming in is significant.
And Brunner,
like Indiana did a terrific job. Owen Long went to ASU, my bad. But like Indiana, Signay and his staff just do such a good job at identifying guys for their schemes, their cultures, etc. They're not just chasing the big time names, big time targets, whatever. Indiana, LSU, Miami, big time loser. I mean, it has to be Washington in some way with the DeMond thing and how that ends up fizzling out, where DeMond is now going to play for a team that he was about to leave and had left, and like, how is that going to work? And then it's poor old D word. It's Duke.
I was about to say, you got to talk about your Blue Devils.
Duke got done it's hard to say done dirty when they stole Mensa from Tulane in fairly similar fashion, but they had locked up Mensa to a contract where the wording was like, you're with us, like you can't leave, and that doesn't even matter. And then so many guys came back to play for Duke because they wanted to play with Mensa for that final season, and then you leave them cold blood. That's tough. Mensa will cook at Miami. Another winner is Texas. Texas is frightening.
I mean, the form that Texas ended the season on, now you team up Cam Coleman with Ryan Wingo. You take Hollywood Smothers away from Alabama. Now, he was at NC State, but he was committed to Alabama. He flips to Texas.
That stuff's crazy.
Do you have some insight on the Hollywood stuff?
Yeah, Texas just pays him more money. These guys just find out that like what you're making and then say, oh, here's more money. Like, I can't. Portal flips is nasty business.
Is there any easier job in the world than being an agent of a high-profile portal target?
Yeah, being the best friend of a really good college football player. You become an agent that way.
I'm just saying it's so easy because you don't even have to negotiate. You just say, hey, this is what they're offering him. The other people offer more, and then you go back, hey, this is what they're offering him.
The portal's got to figure, like the NCAA.
Well, what are you talking about? You're the big beneficiary of the portal.
Why?
Indiana. What do you mean?
I thought you were talking about me personally.
No. Sorry, Indiana.
Wait, bro, I've never entered the portal. Shut the hell up.
No, Indiana.
Okay, but they have to figure out these damn windows, man, that the portal opens up. It sucks. These kids, like, if you go on a long run, these coaches have to recruit while coaching for a national championship, while coaching for a Rose Bowl, while coaching for all that shit, and then you have players on the team of the national championship that has to leave the team because the portal only opens up for so long. You have to leave the team that's about to go to the national championship. That sucks for them.
You know what is crazy,
yes, they're still going to get a ring. They're still going to do all that stuff, but fuck, they can't go and party and celebrate with the team because they have to go worry about where they're going next. It fucking sucks. I hate it.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a spring portal window this time around, right? I don't think. But you know what is crazy that we don't talk about often, though, is like in the age of the portal, is recruiting easier because it's just money?
Yeah.
Like the position coaches, sure, they got to do what they got to do, but isn't it really just the GM saying, hey, here's the offer?
It's literally money.
Right, Ev? Like,
no, you're 100% right. But I think the big thing of this, and I think you're seeing it. I've seen like Indiana's definitely tapped into it. I've noticed the last couple of years, and especially this offseason, Ohio State has too, where the high school recruiting is going to take such a massive hit. It already has. I think it's going to continue to, because I think not just like people talked about. I think people hyper focus too much on like this Indiana team being so old. Like Miami was basically just as old. Like, I think that definitely helps, but it's not like Indiana had a bunch of like 26-year-olds out there. They were all 22-year-old guys, kind of like the rest of college football now that's winning. But I think you're seeing it where why would we pay some high-profile kid all this money at a high school if he's not going to play right away when I could just allocate those funds to someone who's already produced in the Big Ten or at an elite lower level? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you invest all this money? Literally, unless they're Jeremiah Smith and they're going to walk on the field right away and start.
Correct. And then why not just go get that high school kid? If he produces at another school, just go get him in the portal the next year. It just doesn't make sense. There's no high school class coming up through the ranks together, which I hate. Like, yes, I do hate that. That is lost. That's true. I benefited from NIL, and I love it. But there's no fucking like class that you come up with like with your boys. Like the same class you come in freshman year is going to look completely different come senior year if you stay at the same school. Like there's only going to be 3 or 4 of you guys. Like by my senior year, like yes, I came through my junior year with the same class, and then after that, people were picked apart. By the end of my career, yes, I did play 6 fucking years, long time. But even after my 5th year, there was only 3 or 4 guys from my class that I came in with. It sucks, but like that's the day and age we're in now.
Yeah, it used to be like a war of attrition where like some guy would he'd get medicaled and his career was over, or some guy he wanted to quit, or a guy transfers and then he's dead to you. Like when a guy transferred out of our class, we could go from being best friends to never talking to that human being again for the rest of our lives. And so, yeah, that class identity is lost. But this prove it before you get paid, I do find to be more understandable
Yes.
and more logical than paying for the high school kid who hasn't
100%,
proven anything.
100%.
I like a society where you work, you prove yourself, and then you get your big payday.
100% agree.
Which is fair and valid, but like what a kick in the gut for, let's say Oklahoma State finds like a really good 3-star player, develops him, he's a nasty wide receiver. Here comes Ohio State, Miami, Texas, LSU, USC, et cetera, et cetera. Here's $4 million. You're coming to play with us now. All that work Oklahoma State did with you, finding you in the middle of nowhere, recruiting you on long nights, out recruiting like several FCS schools or whatever. You were nobody that doesn't matter anymore. Now, after 2 years, we're poaching you. Like, that stinks.
Yeah.
That all. Yeah, I don't know. It's.
But then Oklahoma State will go and they'll poach the G6.
Exactly.
And so on and
it's
so
a never.
forth.
It's
the whole roster is going to be North Texas.
Yeah, like it's the way of
I know
life.
you're just using them as an example,
Yeah.
but I know what
It's the way of life that it is in. It's animalistic in the jungle, right? Like the little bugs are getting eaten by I don't know what. Like a lizard.
it's an ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
an ecosystem.
The
That's
food
the
it's
word.
the food chain.
Food chain.
You're
It's
talking about the food chain.
That's the word. I knew I should have graduated from junior college and
the laws of the
taken that
jungle,
science
baby.
class.
The
That's
laws of
exactly
the
what it
jungle,
is a
baby.
food chain. And for better, there's positives, there's negatives, just like life in every single facet. But yeah, I
That's-
guys transferring out, guys transferring to their rival with no emotional feeling is such a stab in the
Makes
heart
me
to me. And
sick.
to
I do
Katic.
hate that.
That's
Yeah, I do hate
great.
that.
An Indiana player transferring to Purdue and just not having
I would
a care
never-
in the world for it is insane.
If my roommate that came in with me, we were boys for 3 years.
Got hit by a car that one time.
Yeah. If he transfers to Purdue, he is dead.
Yeah.
I will block
pussy.
him on everything. I will delete his number. I will never speak to that pussy again. And that goes for any rival. Like, imagine if if your boy transferred to Michigan, dead.
Yeah.
He's dead.
we had it on the basketball team. It was crazy.
Oh, God.
Like Roddy Gale used to play for us. He played for Ohio State for 2 years, and this is his second year in Michigan. It's grotesque.
Katic
Grotesque is a great word for it.
Katic is the last of a dying breed.
Yeah.
He really
that's
is.
true.
Staying out of school?
Yeah, staying out of school. Yeah.
You
Think about it.
you got to experience old school college. I say old school was not that long ago, and the new school with the NIL and the portal and everything, and you stick true to your guns with your heart of transfer to rival, blah blah, all that stuff. Having an emotional attachment to your school. So many of these kids don't have that anymore.
And that's another thing that pisses me off, and I took it to heart when I was at Indiana. Of nowadays, there are some kids on the team that take pride in the rivalry and things like that, but the rivalries in college football have also taken a dive because no one going back to the classes, no one comes up and learns the traditions and learns the rivalries and learns to hate your rivals. I'm Michigan, Ohio State's different because that you come in and already, but if you come into Indiana from Florida or something, you don't know that their rival is Purdue. You don't know.
You don't give a shit.
So you just you come in and it's another game. But to people that grew up in Indiana and grew up like a Hoosier fan, they hate Purdue. And so I made it my mission. I was boys, 3 weeks before the game, I'm listen, these motherfuckers, dude.
You got to educate them.
You got to educate them. And thankfully, there's some guys on the team this past year that would educate the boys on Purdue, but I could still sense there isn't that hatred anymore.
Bro,
And that's-
LSU and Ole Miss are just trading coaches and rosters.
Yeah.
Straight up, just
That's
fucking
insanity.
Just a video game uniform swap, a palette change.
That's insanity.
Fellas, you already know what time it is. It's time to level up, and Blue Chew just dropped something crazy. I'm talking next level championship belt gold-plated energy. Blue Chew Gold is the newest innovation from the #1 chewable ED brand. This ain't your grandpa's little blue pill. It's the 4-in-1 beast that's setting the gold standard for performance. We're talking 2 ingredients for blood flow to keep that rocket pumping. mixed with apomorphine and oxytocin to turn up the arousal and connection in your brain and body. Blue Chew Gold dissolves under your tongue and works as little as 15 minutes. That means you can get it on quicker, stay in the game longer. It's elevation without hesitation. This is peak passion and peak performance in a single tablet. Hey, check this out. If your bed could talk after this, your bed would be asking for a break, Mikey. Make life easier by getting harder. And discover your options at BlueChew.com. We got a special deal for our listeners. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with code ROUGHNESS. That's promo code ROUGHNESS. You know, what you're going to do to your bed. You get 10% off their first month of Blue Chew Gold. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. We thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this podcast. I have a question for you boys. We're talking winners, losers of the portal. I have a couple questions. One has to do with LSU. We'll get there in a minute. But one of the losers, I think, right now is Alabama. You've lost 22 players now in the portal. It's the last of the Saban recruits. Isaiah Horton's gone. Formby, your starting tackle's gone. James Smith, your D-tackle, heading to Ohio State. Like we said, you lose out on Hollywood Smothers. You already haven't had good years by your standards at all. Are we witnessing the true end, not just of the Alabama Crimson Tide? Like, clearly they're never going to be what they were under Saban, but, like, is DeBoer cooked?
Alabama losing guys, like, from their school to other schools in a portal, fine, whatever, it happens. But you are right on the fact that the luster that Alabama has had, that stranglehold that they've had in the sport, it doesn't resonate with these kids. So they don't feel the magic of Alabama. Mikey knows it as a player, and just like knowing it from other players he's already spoken to it extensively with rivalries. The players, exactly, they don't have that same what's the word I'm looking
understand
for?
The culture of Alabama football.
Exactly.
Fear.
They don't have that fear, exactly.
Yeah. Well
Fear
said.
they instill, they no longer have. The mystique is gone.
The mystique is gone. So Alabama throwing a few dollar bills isn't going to hit the same when another school is offering the same amount of dollar bills. And they're like, do I want to live in Tuscaloosa or do I want to live in Athens, Georgia? And I'm getting paid the same amount, blah, 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 blah. It's like, Alabama is dwindling.
Well, and again, it's with Kalen DeBoer firmly in the crosshairs. He's got a little bit of Kelly to him, where he's been much more successful than Brian Kelly was, but there were fit questions. And at least I don't give a shit about cultural fit as much, but philosophically, that's where I would be most disappointed as an Alabama fan the last couple of years. You can't run the ball.
Yeah.
You can't fucking run the ball. You had a pretty good team last year that's entire identity was throwing it with Ty Simpson. And that was it.
And
like,
their
you couldn't do
O-line
anything
is
else.
enormous.
Yeah,
dude.
so big. Big for nothing. Big pussies.
It's just like, and our D-line, I know I keep bringing up Indiana, but in the Rose Bowl, our D-line is tiny, man. Tiny. But they just destroyed Alabama's front the whole game. And I just like, and I go back to Coach DeBoer, and he was my offense coordinator my freshman year, did a great job, but he walked into an absolute impossible job.
Yep.
Like how, like, and I'm sure he knew that, and I'm sure he uses that, but you walk into an impossible job like that, taking over the legend of the game.
Some people will say that, what are you talking about? Look at the roster you took over. Look at the. But again, yes, he walked into a good roster, but he walked into a good roster at a time when it's never been easier for a roster to fall apart.
Correct.
He walked into a roster at a time when all the advantages they had are gone because everybody else just has as much money now. And he walks into a roster that has an impossible level of expectation.
Correct.
So, like, I disagree with the notion that this was some great job to take over.
Oh, it's just such a hard thing to do, but, I don't know. And those fans are so spoiled and so that they just any season under 11 wins, they're like, can everything.
Yeah.
Fuck this shit.
And like, do we see it getting better next year? I mean, Ev, is DeBoer cooked here?
Yeah, it's a tough act to follow. Kind of, you said it's like stepping on the stage after like Prime Chappelle.
Yeah,
like, kind of trying to bumper whoever your favorite comedian is, like fill in the blank, like trying to follow up that guy after he just got like a standing ovation. It's all right. Like, what do you got for us now? Because if it's not an undefeated national championship, it's not shit.
Yep.
and he's not even close to that. It feels like he's only getting further away.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you saw that in the Indiana game, like that was clearly Indiana was the standard this year, and you weren't even close. You were never in the game for a second. You got demolished on both sides of the ball. You scored 3 points. They could have scored 50 if they wanted to. Like they were so far away, and it feels like they're only getting further. And no, and T-Bob, what you said at the beginning, I think is correct too. I think it came in at a time where now they were the only guys paying people in town. Now everyone's paying people in town. It's a free market, and they don't have more. They have the same amount of money as all the big dogs, so they've got to do something to separate themselves. And maybe Saban would have been that, but DeBoer's not that guy. Yeah. He's a great coach, but he's just not. He's not the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know where you go. And what Mike said too, where like the offensive line's big, but they're not good. Like Proctor's going to go in the first round probably, but they still couldn't block anyone up front.
Yeah.
So I think he's cooked. Long way to say, yeah, kind of. I think I do.
I feel
unless
like
the standard will just be like 9-10 wins, which is good for most programs, but not Alabama.
Well, the problem is, I think you still have a disconnect in the fans' minds behind what Alabama realistically represents in the current era versus what they think they should represent.
Yes.
And that disconnects, that's going to take years and years of rewiring to finally make peace with that.
And when you go there, and T-Bob, you've probably been there a lot more than I have. I've only been to Tuscaloosa once, I believe. But I was there for the Texas game. We did a college football show there it was the year when they lost as favorites too. Yeah. And even being there, like there is a weird energy when you're at Bryant-Denny where like they're not rowdy. No. Like they're not like there's just this like entitlement of like they just expect to be great.
Yeah.
And when they're not, they're kind of just like they get mad, but they don't even. I don't know. It's weird. It was so weird to be in a football school like that. That's so passionate and had so much success, and they kind of were just very like they don't stand at all during the game. Really, it was kind of bizarre to take it in.
They take it for granted.
It was early in the season. Still, it was Texas coming to town. It's a huge game, and they got their asses kicked.
There's an old historical saying. Wooden clogs on the way up, silk slippers on the way down, right? Like you kind of you earn your way up with this grit, but then you spend too much time at the top, you become fat and happy and spoiled, and you become soft. And that's what happened in the Alabama crowd. Yep. Liam, you want to make a point out there?
Big T's just never been more correct about about anything than where he ranked Alabama in desirable head coaching jobs back in I don't know, he's been doing it for a few years, but I think he said on WUB in October?
Yeah.
And he's never been more right. What do you have him at?
I want to say him 4 or 5 or something.
I think 5.
Like pretty just kind of run of the mill, like a good job, but not like the job.
And it's like immediate backlash for it, but if you sit back, take it in, he's more than right. Like look at the SEC programs right now. Where would you have Alabama as a desirable job? It might be 5 or 6.
Yeah, I mean, Texas is probably 1. Georgia's still right there with Texas.
A&M
has so much money and so much emotional buy-in. Like, eventually A&M's got to fucking do it. Like, somebody's got to find a fucking way eventually.
Yeah.
LSU has more money than anything right now, that they have the governor turning his entire political weight behind creating money for the program. Yeah, it's
Florida.
It's tough. I still Florida has more natural talent within the state, because that's another thing. Alabama's a rich state per capita, but not a very populous state. So it's interesting, man. Are we seeing and I kind of love too that Alabama tried to convince themselves they're a basketball school. Now they're kind of sucking there too.
They got demolished.
The Bediako thing and the Nashi thing at Baylor, and the fact that you could just have guys who played in a professional sport, got drafted, and come back to college is a really, really bad thing. And it's the first time it happens in college football. We need to start a nuclear war to make sure it doesn't happen again. Amari Bailey was on campus at UCLA this weekend as he was there. It was an alumni day. He's trying to come back to play in college basketball. That can't happen.
Oh, man. Okay, look, we'll end the show there today. A quick one today. Shout out DraftKings, though. Again, Super Bowl 60 deserves a sportsbook built for the moment. And DraftKings Sportsbook is official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 60. They're going to put you right in the center stage of the biggest game of the year. And remember, anything can happen in the Super Bowl. Dave was talking about this morning on Wub. And DraftKings, we have your back with early exit. Let's say your player goes down in the first half. You still get paid in cash when your bet settles. No bonus bets, no waiting. While other sportsbooks don't offer injury protection, DraftKings covers the entire first half. That's right, even the second quarter. And early exit works on live bets as well. Shout out Live Bet Lads. Pre-game or in-game DraftKings has you covered. If you're new to DraftKings, new best customers can bet just $5. You get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code RUFF. That's code RUFF, R-O-U-G-H, to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. All right, guys, thank you so much. Super fun, and Necessary Roughness will be back next week. Love you all. Subscribe, share it, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next time here on Necessary Roughness.
Could you imagine if Katic just said, like, in 2 years, yeah, I'm going to go back to college. I'm going to go play college football again?
7th year. That'd be terrible.